Global sensation Lady Gaga has revolutionized the music industry, but few have had access into the singer's most intimate moments until now. Netflix's Gaga, 5'2", follows the pop star's personal journey over the course of 8 months.
And during that time, we witnessed the star as she struggles with her mental and her physical health. And we also see her release her 5th album, Joanne, which comes with a few bumps along the road.
I hit Mark's car. I don't even know how I did that. Mark? Is it his car? I can't. I'm so sorry.
I wish if you have a problem with me, just tell it to my face, not to my bumper.
Sorry.
It's all good. Is it bad?
Yeah.
I mean,
To Mark Ronson.
Very cinema verite. Emmy-nominated filmmaker Chris Moukrabel directed the film. Joins us now on set. Chris, good to have you.
Yeah, thanks for
Talk
having
about
me.
the genesis of this project for you.
I'd been talking to her manager about the idea of doing a film, and they had been thinking about something for a long time, but didn't feel any urgency. And she was sort of reluctant. She didn't really feel like she needed to have a documentary made. She was more focused on writing music and being in the studio. But she let me in, and we kind of shot for a day just to feel it out. And I think we figured out that we could work together, and she, basically signed off on it, and I just started tagging along.
One of the fascinating things about films like this, the fly on the wall type of documentary films, is that I'm guessing, the first couple of days, they're very cognizant, she and her people are cognizant that you're following her around, but then as you continue to show up, they become more and more open and free about what they're doing, what they're saying. Did you discover that?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I thought I would have been able to come in with a crew and make it a little bit more of a production, but as it turns out, again, she really didn't want to be disrupted in the studio. So she would be like, okay, well, maybe you can just come by yourself. And that just kept going on, and eventually I ended up shooting a lot of the film on my own, just because it was easier to be more nimble and more discreet and stay out of the way and let them kind of forget about me. And I think with a crew and booms and all of that, it would have been harder.
I have a question. Trust is so important, clearly. She trusted you. That's why she let you in to the studio. But at the end, when you were editing this film, did she have any say?
She didn't, which is, I think, surprising to a lot of people. I expected to get notes from her. It was sort of understood that she might want to give notes and watch a cut down. But as it turned out, she really didn't want to watch a cut of the movie and didn't see it until the premiere in Toronto like a week ago. So I just sit there watching her watch the movie, which was pretty stressful.
What was her reaction?
I mean, she loved it, and she got very emotional about it afterwards, and she thanked me, and it was sweet. I mean, she felt like she couldn't watch it earlier because she couldn't be objective about herself, and if she watched it, she might cut it or have second thoughts about it or whatever.
Some courage.
It did, and she's kind of up for an artistic adventure. So in a way, I think she treated it like that.
So let's talk about what we learned, or what you learned, and what we're going to see from the documentary. I think for a lot of people around the world, especially young girls, she represents an ideal. She's inspiring to so many people. That song, Born This Way, clearly had a huge impact, and all of her other hits. But she struggled with some very personal issues and personal medical issues.
Sure, yeah. I mean, and you do see it in the film. She does struggle with chronic pain, and it can be debilitating. She was recently diagnosed with fibromyalgia. It's a difficult thing to diagnose, but in a lot of the scenes that you'll see, half of her body seizes up in these spasms, and she's just rendered completely disabled for hours by it. And it's really hard to watch. You want to help somebody when they're having some kind of pain experience like that, and there's really nothing you can do. And there's people helping her. So she told me I could continue to roll during those moments when it happened, because she did feel like, she's always looking for a positive message and a way to use her platform to maybe reach out to people who are dealing with something similar. So she felt like that was an opportunity for people to see what she's going through on that side.
Ultimately, what do you want people to take away from this film, and was there anything that surprised you about Lady Gaga during the filming process?
Well, I'd say immediately I was struck with just how kind of friendly and easy to be around she actually is, and you don't assume that. I think there's the assumption she's going to be this kind of off-the-wall character. And there is a real division for her, I think. The Gaga character that she created, she does kind of have to separate from her private life, because otherwise she would lose herself into it. So it's sort of a way for her to stay human and stay grounded. She's really close with her family, and she has a team of people around her that she's been working with for like almost a decade, which I thought said a lot about her when people are that loyal to you that they're going to continue working with you that long. So that surprised me and meant a lot.
You know, the things that I'm just watching the previews here, what it seems to me to be really fascinating is she's not managed. In other words, I love Beyonce, but every time you see anything Beyonce related, it's very sort of managed and put together.
Yeah.
Here you see the real Gaga.
Yeah, I mean, as best as I could portray that. You know, I'm not going to say this is journalism. There's no objective truth here. It's a portrait. It's a portrait about someone I find really interesting, and it's an impressionistic portrait. I think a lot of people will get similar kind of things out of it that I did.
Chris Moukrabel, thanks so much.
Thanks for having me.
Really looking forward to seeing this. Thanks,
Thank you.
Chris.